Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing my empties for the month of April. Like always, I'll have these separated into categories in case you're only interested in certain items. To start off with skincare, I finished some sheet masks. So for this month, I tried to focus on these Tony Moly I'm Rice sheet masks. I have 5 of these. So for some reason, I remember liking these a lot more previously. There is a lot of leftover essence, which I did use on my reusable cotton round. But for some reason, I don't know if it's because I was before using this Innisfree one. This one is scratchy. I want to repurchase it, but I feel like the fragrance is less intense. And for some reason, I could really smell this I'm Rice one. It didn't smell like rice. It just kind of smelled slightly perfumey. So I need to finish up maybe like 2 more packs of these. So what, 20 more sheet masks, and then I'm good to go. I did like how it felt on my face. So maybe if I was in a pinch, I would get these again, but not anytime soon. But just watch me. If there's a sale and I find these at TJ Maxx or Marshalls, I'll probably pick them up. But yeah, they're okay in terms of texture, how they feel and stuff. I did finish up another free not free. Yeah, free sachet. I got this for either my Dulce or Stalvana order. This is a Round Lab mugwort calming cleanser. So I believe that my sister let me have this one because I think that she's a little bit picky with mugwort. She likes the mugwort essence from Misha, and she also likes the I'm from mugwort essence. I think it's just okay. I think it mainly helps people with redness or yeah, just like redness in their face. So this one, I didn't notice much of a difference because again, it's really small. It's only 2 milliliters, but the texture was okay. It didn't really foam up that much, but then again, there was hardly any and I used it in the shower. So I couldn't really get a good gauge of what it did. But I haven't seen these in store, but maybe if I did and it was a good price, I'd pick it up. But otherwise, I wouldn't look out for it. All right, that is it for skincare. Moving on to body care, my sister did finish up a Tree Hut body scrub. This one is in Dewy Daisy. I am so surprised that she liked this scent because she normally doesn't really like florals. Yeah, so at least when I smell the empty container, I'm mainly just getting that daisy note. I believe there's also amber in here and maybe strawberries if I'm remembering that correctly, but the strawberries, I don't really get that. It doesn't smell like juicy strawberries or macerated strawberries. It's just like kind of a powdery daisy scent. So I'm surprised, but she told me that she would get this one and the texture was good. And then coincidentally, I also finished up a Tree Hut scrub. This one, I got it at TJ Maxx for $5.99. I believe now they cost $6.99. But this is in an older scent, Margarita Citron. So this one wasn't really gritty. It was a little bit more watery, and I don't know if that affected the actual scent itself. But this reminded me a lot of like a margarita towards the end when all your ice has melted. So it kind of smelled a little bit diluted. I do get like that zesty kind of like lemon type of a scent. It's not too sour or bitter or anything. It almost smells like there's a little bit of like salt, but not too much because then again, we're talking diluted, melted margarita. This one, I wouldn't repurchase it. And I think my sister also had this one and she didn't really care too much for the scent. So I wouldn't pick up this one again. The texture was a little bit on the looser, renier side. So I don't know if it's because it was older or what. But normally Tree Hut scrubs, they're a little bit thicker and more luxurious. All right, moving on to a small business empty. We have a perfume from a brand called Wearable Gourmand. This is in the scent Coffee and Donuts, 1.7 fluid ounce perfume. So initially when I got this, I really like how it smelled in the cap. But for some reason, I got this like kind of weird note when I sprayed it in the air and on my body. It almost smells like when you roast cocoa beans a little bit too much. It smells a little bit funky. And when I tried to use it as a, what do you call it, after the shower type of a perfume, I felt like it kind of stuck on my sheets and stuff, and I didn't really like that. And then I tried using it as an air freshener. And then my dad would, he in general doesn't like a lot of gourmand fragrances, especially chocolate. So he would always notice it. So then towards the end, I just used it as like a bathroom spray and then I called it a day because this would have taken me a really long time to finish. I have another one that I am working on right now. It's like a pineapple upside down cake. scent that was also a test fragrance, and I like that a lot better. So this scent, I wouldn't repurchase it, but if I were to get something from Wearable Gourmand that I've had in the past before, it was this cherry scent. I want to say it was cherry cake pop. The only thing is that I have a bunch of small business perfumes that I don't want them to go bad. So I would hold off until maybe like a year and a half. So not anytime soon, but I really like that scent. All right, and I think the rest is just home fragrance. Let me move on to wax melts. And the only wax melt that I finished is this one from Homestead Wax Melt in the scent Salted Pretzel Milkshake. This one, I got it from Jeannie over at Jeannie Melt Scents. So this particular scent, it was really light on cold, and I thought I wasn't going to get much from it. So I used all the pieces, which I think were 3. So I have a feeling this might have been a partial. But anyways, I was expecting it to be more of a background scent, but it was definitely like medium, borderline strong in my medium-sized bedroom. It smelled not too salty, but more of like the inside of a pretzel, you know, like the fluffy white part, not necessarily like the crispy outside or the toppings that are put on a pretzel, which this one, it'd be salt, I'm assuming. My sister didn't like this particular scent. I'm not sure exactly why. I think she's normally okay with bread scents, but this one I wouldn't pick it up, but I do have my eye open. I don't know if they're still in business, but you know what? Actually, I'm going to press pause, hopefully, on buying any more wax because I have a ton that I need to get through. So I am looking at this vendor, but not anytime soon, maybe in the future. But yeah, this one was a good performer, but I wouldn't pick up this particular scent. Okay, moving on to candles. Let's go on to my sister's honorary empties. Let's talk about her Woodwick candles. So this is a scent that I gifted her, and I just hated the scent. This is called Manuka Nectar. I don't know if it's discontinued or not, but this large tumbler burns for about like 150, 160 hours, something like that. It did get a little bit sooty, but overall it didn't really get too discolored. I bought one of these large tumblers for my sister, and then I gifted her mine because I just couldn't stand the scent. So this one, she said that she wouldn't repurchase just because she has already finished up one entire tumbler of these, that it was strong. No real issues with the burn, obviously, or maybe not obviously. Around right here, she felt like she had to use my taller, skinnier Hurricane. The fragrance notes: top, citrus, lemon, orange, green; middle, peach, mango, honey, jasmine, rose; base, tonka, balsam, vanilla. Oh, actually, 110 to 180 hours of burn time. I think the problem with this particular scent was the mixture of the peach, mango, and the honey, because I get that smell that I sometimes get when these fragrance notes are used, and specifically together, that it just smells kind of like a bathroom or urine, and I just do not like it, or overripe fruit that is fermenting. I didn't get much of like the green notes at the top. I did get a little hint of citrus. The lemon wasn't so much apparent, but I basically just got those 3 notes: the peach, the mango, and the honey. And I just did not like the combination. My sister thought this was okay. Oddly enough, my mom only started complaining towards the end of the candle, so maybe that's also why my sister wouldn't repurchase. But yeah, this one was pretty strong in her space, and she had that burning in her smaller bedroom. Now, to go on to one that my sister absolutely could not stand, and she decided to stop burning it. I don't know if she had it burning for too long, but this one got really murky, discolored, and it started to smell like soot. And bam, here's the proof. This is vanilla and sea salt. I thought I would really like this scent, but I also didn't care for it when she had it burning in her room. So you can see right there, it looks super dirty. And let me show you how it looks like on the inside. So yeah, towards the end, I told her, I'm like, hey, if you're not enjoying the scent, just, you know, call it a day, hang it up. On the notes, I wrote like no, underline, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So she really did not like it. This one was strong, but it got sooty pretty quickly and discolored. Normally that can happen, but it normally doesn't happen to this extent. And it wasn't even like a pure white color. It was kind of like of a gray, hinting at a little bit of a blue. So yeah, no, this candle, I don't like it. She doesn't like it. I think that the main note that I get in here is a marine note, maybe mixed in with, oh, I wrote down the fragrance notes. Green, fruity, marine, apple, mid, jasmine, muguet, rise or rise, base, musk, vanilla. I thought it said sweat, sweet and woody. And the main note that I get is the lily of the valley, aka muguet, mixed in with the marine accord. And I think just maybe lily of the valley isn't a fragrance that I would want. Yeah. And right now it smells like all of that, but just adds soot to it. So not a repurchase. I also wouldn't repurchase it. I have a large tumbler, so good luck to me. Okay, next, another honorary empty that my sister finished up. We have carrot cake. This is a part of the Easter collection for Kringle 2026. She will reuse this jar, so I need to make a mental note not to toss this. It got slightly discolored, and she did have to limit her burn time, so there is a little bit of soot around the edges, but not a ton, because again, the wicks got a little bit dirty. This one does have fragrance notes. It says carrot cake, spice, vanilla, and frosting. My main issue with this scent is that it reads bland to me, and I feel like I would have to mix this with another candle. And I personally don't like having more than one candle burning at a time, because at this point, if you need help in order to perform, then minus 10 points right there. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit sweeter and maybe like a little bit more of the vanilla. And I don't get any carrot, like a vegetable or a vegetal note. I'm not even getting like that sweet baby carrot scent. I'm not getting that like you needed to water these carrots a little bit more. I'm getting like 0 carrot. Yeah, just lightly spiced type of a bread scent. I wouldn't repurchase it. My sister wouldn't repurchase it. And last honorary empty for my sister, we have one of her CBD candles. This is in Eucalyptus Rain. It was $9.99, but she got it on sale for $8. So this one, I need to give her back the lid as well. This one will tunnel these single wick candles that you find at TJX stores, because I feel like this needs 2 wicks. The scent was maybe in her Hurricane, in her small office, like a 2. But she mainly burns this for the quote CBD purposes or that effect, but I don't think that's scientifically proven. But in her mind, it works. So like whatever helps her out. This one isn't her favorite scent, but at this point, she's getting a little desperate. So what's that phrase? Beggars can't be choosers. So I think that is it for my sister's empties. I only finished up 2, surprisingly. Next, going on to a small business. This is caramel sundaes and pink pastry. I'm not purchasing from this brand anymore, but this is a scent that if I was purchasing, I wouldn't get this particular fragrance again. This one did get a little bit sooty at the top, and that was around the midway mark, mainly because I was trying to add more heat and burning it for slightly longer than I normally would to make it throw a little bit better. So this one was overall pretty light. I wouldn't say it would go as far as to be unscented, but it was just light. And I had this going when this other candle was underneath my candle lamp. And that was a Goose Creek candle in the scent Honey Buns. All right, so when I took out this Goose Creek candle, I was so pumped. I thought, okay, finally, we're going to get some like strong, heavy hitter fragrances. And it was just not it. It was very light / weak. And I couldn't smell any of the fragrance notes. I thought, what in the world is going on here? So this one, it has golden pastry, warm cinnamon, icing, and sugary vanilla swirl. This thing just smelled, while burning, the first like 2 burns, it was like some stale bread. And I thought, where's the cinnamon? Where's the vanilla? And I just like could not understand what was going on. So I put that in my crock, and I could lightly get that. But the one that really throws fragrances if I'm having a really hard time is my 50-watt adjustable candle lamp. It's one that's like top down, not bottom up. Anyways, so that one I finally got the scent, and it did smell like honey buns. And thankfully, the cinnamon did tone down compared to how it was on cold, and I got that icy note. So I was super happy. I did have to dump the wax, only one time, because I don't know if it's because maybe Goose Creek uses more paraffin, but I feel like it melted more of the wax compared to my Bath and Body Works candles that I melt that are practically full. So that's a good thing. I really enjoyed this in my bedroom. Sometimes when I wanted to go to sleep and like wake up to this like honey buns breakfast food situation, I would put it in my candle crock. But overall, it performed better underneath my candle lamp. But even underneath my candle lamp, it was still about, I would say like barely a medium, and that's in my medium-sized bedroom. In my candle crock, which is I think a 25 watt with the door closed, it was pretty weak. But I could smell it because my bed is right next to the candle crock. So yeah, this one I wouldn't go out of my way to repurchase, but I bought this for $3, so it doesn't really hurt me as much. I feel like had I paid, what's the retail price? 26, or heck, even like whatever Walmart's selling it for, which is I think 13, 22, or some areas have like a surcharge, which it's like 14 or something. Yeah, I'd probably be a lot more upset. So there's that. I did enjoy the scent, but caveat is that I have to use it with a candle lamp and a very specific hot one. Okay, miscellaneous home fragrance empties. We have an honorary empty from my dad, and this is his Febreze card clip. He really likes these, and I agree that these work really well. He's someone who always has his air on when it's cold, when it's hot, when it's like lukewarm, his air is on, which I personally don't like because I think after a while I get a little bit nauseous, specifically when I'm in the back seat. But he like goes not to the gym, but he like runs and stuff. So I can kind of see why he would need this. I can even smell it right now. It just smells like a fresh laundry type of a scent. This one was pretty strong in his car. I believe it has an adjustment right here, and he always has it. I think you can kind of tell he always has it on high. So he would repurchase that, but I think he's waiting to get that maybe at Costco. I think that's where he normally gets it from, that or Walmart. Okay, moving on to the one car diffuser that I finished up. This is one from Kringle in the scent Jelly Donut. So when I was debating whether or not to try out these hanging car diffusers, I thought, okay, what is a scent that my sister likes and that might be a little bit strong? So I skipped the normal Kringle candle line and went to the Reserve hanging car diffusers. And I thought my sister really likes Jelly Donut. I personally don't really care that much for that scent, but I like my car to smell like sweet bakery and all those adjectives. So I went for Jelly Donut. This one, I would say it lasted me comfortably a month. I could stretch it out to 2 months, but during that second month mark, I could only get whiffs of it here and there. Maybe I could have stretched it out to 3 months, but at that point, I think it wouldn't be doing much. And I think it was the most noticeable the first, I would say 10 days. It's not like the Bath and Body Works hanging car diffusers that are like very intense the first 3 days and then they kind of disappear. This one was more steady, and I think that the scent was better dispersed in the car. I wish though that the shape was a little bit different because like little trees, they're obviously in the shape of a tree, and you can kind of pull the plastic bag little by little to give you more scent. But this one was just very much flat. What was I saying? So I could maybe take out the plastic bag little by little, but when I did that, it kind of just fell out. So maybe it's different if you keep it with the plastic bag. But that's all to say, I would repurchase this, and I think I would try it in maybe a scent that I like a little bit more. My sister did enjoy this one, but I don't think it's one that I will repurchase. All right, so that was everything that I finished up in the month of April. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.